afternoon. To Susie and Jeff, the parents of Jacob, and all the Hancher family and loved ones, Mayor Brenda Bethune, honored members of our City Council, Chief John Durham of the Waldorf, Maryland Fire Department, Chief Tanner Norkert, Loper, Lawson of Horry County Fire Rescue, members of the Horry County Fire and Rescue Station 45, Richard Jacobs Station House, members of the Myrtle Beach Fire Department, members of Myrtle Beach Police Department, and guests. On behalf of Chief Amy Prock and Assistant Chief Marty Brown, welcome to the dedication ceremony for Patrolman Jacob Hancher Overpass. We're honored to have you all here as we pay tribute to Jacob to further honor his life and legacy of the service which he gave to us all. At this time, I would ask our Myrtle Beach Fire and Myrtle Beach Police Honor Guard to present our nation and local colors.
Detail. Hold. Left. Face. Present. Arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you remove your hats and place your hands over your heart, and as I lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I'd like to call Captain Jonathan Evans of the Myrtle Beach Fire Department to please lead us in the national anthem. Officers, present arms.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. Arms. Detail. On guard. March.
Please welcome to the podium for our opening address and presentation, Amy Prock, Chief of Police, City of Myrtle Beach.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us on this very warm day. It is a pleasure to be here in front of our community to celebrate and honor Jacob Hancher. Jacob lived intentionally. Jacob loved intentionally. It was how he interacted and how he connected. 2 years ago, when we celebrated his amazing life, after he was taken from us, I listened to his priest and our chaplains and his friends and family remind us that we need to celebrate his legacy and remember him by living intentionally. Today we are remembering, and as we dedicate this roadway, we will have a continual reminder every time we pass by. The Patrolman Jacob Hancher Overpass is a reminder to all of us to honor his legacy. When we pass it, we can check and to make sure we are living. We are loving, we are interacting, we are connecting in the way that he did. Intentionally. And it is a reminder that this world can be tough, but it can be beautiful. It can be challenging. It can be rewarding, but it can be absolutely heartbreaking. We live on today, tomorrow, and the days to come, and remember by honoring Jacob's legacy and doing exactly by living intentionally. I want to take an opportunity today to thank those who are involved in this dedication. Our Road Renaming Committee, which is now our Legacy Committee. Lieutenant Nguyen, Lieutenant Chinaka, Lieutenant Phillips, Lieutenant Amick, Sergeant Brewer, PFC Heron, PFC Cooper, Lieutenant Rhodes, Master Corporal Vest, Gretchen Kaler, and all of those who worked so hard to put this celebration and dedication together today. Also, I want to thank our state representatives, DOT, our city council, our mayor, our management staff, and our families and community for all of their support in making this happen today. We need, as a community, as a city, as a county, as a state, as a nation, to live intentionally. Like I'd like to provide the families right now a representation of our road renaming today. Great pleasure.
Thank you, Chief Brock. And now I'd like to welcome to the podium the Mayor of the City of Myrtle Beach, Mrs. Brenda Bethune, for the dedication proclamation.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special dedication. On behalf of City Council, I especially want to give a very warm and loving thank you and welcome to the Hancher family. October 3rd, 2020 is a date that will forever be on our hearts. That night impacted our entire community. The pain and the trauma was real, especially for Jacob's beloved family and for his brothers and sisters in blue. The horrific memories of that event will never be forgotten. But what will also last forever and never be forgotten is the love and the kindness that this entire community showed us. The way that this community reached out to the Hancher family, to our police department, and to the entire city team was just unbelievable and something I have never witnessed before. The love that we saw, the support that we were given was not just from the Myrtle Beach community. It was from virtually every city across this state, as well as across our nation. Jacob Hancher is the reason that we witnessed that love and that kindness. Even though he paid the ultimate sacrifice, his life was not in vain. Our police and fire families, together with our city team, will forever continue his legacy. I hope that every time we see these signs and we are on this road or near this area, that we will remember and be grateful for what a caring community we are so blessed to live in. It is my honor to share with you the resolution that our South Carolina General Assembly has issued in honor of Jacob, and I would like to give a special thanks to Senators Goldfinch, Rankin, Hembry, Saab, and Williams. Whereas the members of the South Carolina General Assembly wish to honor the ultimate sacrifice of Patrolman Jacob Hancher, who was killed in the line of duty on October 3rd, 2020. And whereas a native of Silver Spring, Maryland, Patrolman Jacob Hancher was hired in 2015 as a community service officer for the Myrtle Beach Police Department. After graduating from the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy in 2020, Patrolman Hancher began his career as a police officer. And whereas on October 3rd, 2020, Patrolman Hancher was shot and killed in the line of duty. He responded with his fellow officers to a domestic incident on 14th Avenue South. A man opened fire on the officers, killing Patrolman Hancher and wounding another officer. And whereas, as civic leader, Patrolman Hancher served with many community organizations, including the Waldorf Volunteer Fire Department, Fire Station 3, and the Horry County Fire Rescue Fire Station 45. And whereas Patrolman Hancher leaves to cherish his family and extended family, he will be greatly missed. And whereas it would only be fitting and proper to pay tribute to Patrolman Hancher by naming a portion of road in the state in his honor. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate, the House of Representatives concurring, that the members of the South Carolina General Assembly by this resolution request that the Department of Transportation name the overpass of Harrelson Boulevard in Horry County Patrolman Jacob Hancher Overpass, and direct appropriate markers or signs at this location containing the designation. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Department of Transportation and presented to Jacob's family today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Bethune. Now, to speak in memoriam of Jacob, I'd like to welcome Mr. John McGuire, President of the Carolina Forest Firefighters Association.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to try to get through this. I'm probably one of Jake's best friends in 45. Between motorcycle rides, rage days, we shared so many laughs. One of the funniest moments was when the guys from New York can attest to this. Not many people call police cars radio cars, but the guys from New York. Jake's famous laugh, every time I said radio car, he'd always come back with, John, do any of the other cars have radios? At the range, we probably shot more paper bad guys than you think were possible. fun. Motorcycle rides. My wife misses her motorcycle partner. I miss him too. Rest in peace, bud. Love you, miss you.
Thank you very much, Joe. Now, also to speak on their memories of Jacob, I'd like to welcome to the podium from the City of Myrtle Beach Police Department, one of Jacob's shiftmate and my friend, B-Night Waterfront Officer Cody Cole.
First off, I just want to say thank you to my command staff for giving me this opportunity to share a few words. Thank you to Jacob's family for being here, for sharing it with us. Thank you to Myrtle Beach Fire, Horry County Fire Rescue, specifically Engine 45 and Rescue 2. Last but not least is traffic family, pre-service class of the shift. There are certainly people here that were much closer to Jacob than I was. However, we shared a unique bond, having both been drawn to the fire service at a young age, and then making calculated steps to pursue careers in law enforcement. I met Jacob when he was a CSO, but I really got to know him at Station 45 during my first attempt to volunteer in the county. It was there when I learned about his hopes and dreams of moving from CSO to the police department. Being a new cop during the best of times is really a tough thing to do. Being a new cop at night on the boulevard on our B-Night's waterfront shift in the summer of 2020 was way more taxing than any outsider would even understand. I didn't have an opportunity to work with him a whole lot during the summer because he was so busy and we were spread pretty thin. But again, I look forward to eventually helping him navigate the job when things slow down. When I was told that I was speaking today, I reached out to my shiftmates and asked them how knowing him had impacted their lives. The common thread was very simple. It was that he was a reminder that there are genuinely selfless and good people left in the world. He embodied everything it means to be a guardian and a servant. One even told me that he will share Jacob's memory with his young son as he grows up, and explain to him the importance of always doing the right thing, because that's what Jacob did. Jacob's impact on me was tremendous. He's given me the courage to make a lot of difficult decisions. After he was killed, I lost my inner fire to do this job. The fire that burned inside of me since I was a child, a fire that he and I shared together, was all gone in an instant. The first time I attempted to return to work after he was killed, I passed under this overpass heading north on the bypass towards Mr. Joe White Avenue. I turned right onto Mr. Joe White, was able to make it till about Fire Station 1 before I realized I couldn't do it. I continued into the waterfront building anyway because that was home base, but all I could do was hang around and just talk to everyone that was there. After about an hour or two, I left. I felt nauseous, I was anxious, I was angry at myself. The next time though, on October 16th, I drove under this overpass, northbound, turned right onto Mr. Joe. Of course I was still anxious, but I wasn't overwhelmed, and I had something pushing me forward. I came in for my 4P to 4A shift, got my keys, loaded up, and signed out of service immediately. My first stop was very intentional, was to go right down to 14 South and Mill Pond. It only took a few minutes down there before I took a deep breath, got my car, and made myself available. I knew that I had to get back on the horse, so to speak, and I made my first car stop at 4:17 p.m. right near the police department. I got the driver's information, walked back to my car, and was verifying everything on the computer. For those that don't know, our system will show you if a car has been stopped before. And not only does it show you if it's been stopped before, but it shows you where it was, the date, and who stopped it. But when I put in the license plate, what I saw in my car was that the first car I had stopped was stopped previously on 7/20/7/20 at 12:30 a.m. by none other than 374 Officer Hancher, Jacob. I knew at that exact moment that I was back where I was supposed to be, and that it was Jacob that was pushing me down Mr. Joe White. It was Jacob who pushed me into my car, and he was the one that told me to pull that car over. He was able to reignite the fire inside me to continue to do this job for as long as I can without saying a word. Jacob not only gave me courage to get back to policing, but he inspired me and others that worked with him to get involved with a nonprofit called Brotherhood for the Fallen. sharing his story with other officers from around the country, whether it was during police week or during Brotherhood for the Fallen deployments. There always seems to be some sort of sense of relief when talking to the other officers, as if Jacob is present, and just calm takes over the sensitive and sad moments. Everyone will carry Jacob's moments memory on in a multitude of ways. For me, it's being engaged with organizations like I just explained, training new officers, making sure they know his story, and just simply being nice. Every time I drive under this bridge now, the Patrolman Jacob Hancher Overpass, I'll be reminded of the time I did not want to keep going. This bridge is a physical reminder that his spirit is always present and will always push us forward, even when we think the fire within us is gone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cody. And now we are honored to hear from the parents of Jacob. First, I'd like to welcome, and please give a warm welcome to Jacob's mom, Miss Susie Williams.
First and foremost, I would like to thank all you all for coming out this evening. I would also like to give a big thank you to Amy Prock and Mike Quinn and all those on the committee that have put this together. And a thank you to the Assembly, South Carolina Assembly, for putting this bill forward. We appreciate the dedication that you've shown towards our family. A lot has happened in the last couple of years, and I have to echo Brenda by saying it is the strength of this community that has gotten our family through. It is the fact that we truly are an amazing community, that we all support each other, and that we all encourage each other. I appreciate all the support that everyone has shown to our family spiritually and personally. Truly, you are the reason that we go on. I wanted to say how much that this is going to mean to his little sister and to myself as I drive to work each day, traveling over the Jacob Hancher Overpass, and for his sister to get to see that sign and feel her brother with her, her brother's presence to give her strength to go on. So it's with great pride that I say thank you.
Susie, thank you so much. And now, if you'd also give a warm welcome to Mr. Jeff Hancher, Jacob's dad. Jeff.
So, the last time I had the opportunity to speak was back in October. I said then that I was struggling with what to say and I asked Jake for guidance. But in no time, pages were typed out that I felt Jake guided me to. This time it came together in a little bit different way. When I sat down to type this up, words came, but it was a hodgepodge of memories and thoughts, but nothing really worked. Last Sunday, I pulled the computer out, turned the TV on, and one of Jake's favorite movies during high school was on HBO. And the words flowed. The movie was titled Act of Valor, if anyone's seen it. And here's what we came up with. Before I begin, I also wanted to recognize somebody that was supposed to be here today. They couldn't because they had a family emergency. But since it was written and this is what Jake wanted me to say, I'm going to roll with it. So I wanted to recognize a person that had a huge impact at the beginning of Jake's fire career in high school. Jacob would come home every night from the firehouse and tell us all the things he learned. And it was always the same person that was mentioned who was showing him. You were there for Jake in high school. You were with him in October 2020 when you brought him home to Maryland. And you checked on Kathy and I frequently. One interesting thing that Jacob said during that time was you have to earn the right to use someone's nickname at the firehouse. And this is quote unquote, you dad have not earned that right. Deontay Coates, thank you. You're definitely our people, even without me having never earned the right to use your nickname. Jacob has been honored in many ways over this time. He's had his name added to 5 memorials, a room named for him in Carolina Forest. Station 45 added his number to their patch, and a really nice display was set up at the station with his helmet, turnout gear, and awards. A table at Red Robin, where Jake and I ate at the last time, has been named for him. A playground has been named in his memory, a beautiful mural at his church in Conway, a statue dedicated at St. Peter's School in Waldorf and a scholarship in his name at Thomas Stone High School. Last but certainly not least, many tattoos in his memory have been inked. One's right here, one's right there. So I think Cece has one too, I'm not sure. Of all these wonderful gestures, nothing's brought Jake back to us. Our family lost so much when Jake was taken. We lost a lifetime of memories. We lost future grandkids, future generations of people in my bloodline named Hancher in it on October 3rd, 2020. Some people get it, some don't, but everybody here gets it. Sorry about that. Now to the reason we're here in this bridge. Of all the honors listed above, this bridge means the most to me, as Jake and I have a personal connection I'd like to share with everyone. On Memorial Day weekend 2016, Kathy, Andrew, and I decided to visit Jacob. He gave me very clear instructions in regard to being to the hotel before the traffic loop went into effect. My response was, yeah, I got it. He repeated again how the loop worked, and again I answered that I understood. And like a typical man, I clearly didn't get it. I showed up 5 minutes after the loop went into effect, and for the next 5+ hours we were on the loop. The first connection to the bridges for the first hour was trying to get to the hotel. We were stuck in traffic over there, and Jake was stationed on this side. So we were very close in proximity. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and I was pissed. The second connection between the bridge and that weekend that we visited him was Jacob chastised me over the hotel we're staying at. It's always wonderful to see your child coming into their own and when they become more of an expert on certain topics. He asked me why we were staying there, as it was not the safest part of our beach. I said it seemed okay to me, but he was right. The hotel we stayed at was at 14th and South Ocean. Flash forward 4 years and Jake was killed 2 blocks from there. In my mind, when I think back to that trip and Jake's time over the beach, I always think about this bridge. And this is a little bit weird because Jake's having me do something that's totally out of my comfort zone. But to circle back to how the speech came to be, I'd like to read the poem. See, he even does that. Yeah, it's weird. I would like to read the poem read at the end of the movie Act of Valor. I think Jacob's spirit directed me to that movie last Sunday so I could hear this poem. It's entitled Live Your Life by Chief Tecumseh. So, live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion, respect others in their view, and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long in the purpose and its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the Great Divide. Always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger when in a lonely place. Show respect to all people and grovel to none. When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and no thing, for abuse turns the wise ones to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with the fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home. Lastly, I'd be amiss without adding that Kathy continues to be the rock, and we couldn't get through this without you. And then Lexi, Jensen, Andrew, and Cece, Jacob loved you very much. Never forget that.
Thank you, Jeff. We'd like to thank you all for attending today, and we would like to thank the Coastal Carolina Shields, who have also been accompanied by the Wilmington Pipe and Drum Column for us coming here today. We'll now be escorting the family and their designees to the actual sign on the east end of the bridge for the unveiling, and their designees who they'd like to bring. We'd ask you to head up to the van